Peace and love, Washington, Islam, Grand Holy Day, everybody. Um, Today is 11/11. So you're supposed to manifest. It's a beautiful day. On the Islamic calendar is Rabbi 16/14/44. Salam. Um, Peace and love. Everybody, can you hear me?
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Assalamu alaikum. Today is our holy day. I'm the National Grand Sheikh of the Bishop Moore's Holy Temple of Science of the World, International Charter, Foreign Trust and all, Big 98, Big 92, all that good stuff. We're going over the 33 civic questions today. Then we'll get into some credit sauce. I don't know if y'all was online earlier, but we was going over authenticating a birth certificate, county, state, and federal, and how to go about that anyway. So if anybody wasn't on that demo, if you want me to go through that real quick, I can. If not, we'll go ahead and move over to the 33 civic questions. So y'all ready to move forward, correct?
Correct.
<clears throat> 33 civic questions. Anybody got the 33 civic questions, or you want me to read it?
I have it. Give me a second. Where are we starting with?
Starting at number 1, gonna work our way to 33. We'll go through 1 through 5, then we're gonna open the floor for questioning. Because I told y'all to gather y'all questions tonight. While she's getting that together, question number 1 is, what is your nationality? Anybody know the answer?
Washington Moore. More according to the book.
Come again? Uh-oh. Sound like some conflict. So, Secretary, why you say you'll Washington Moore?
Because I haven't put my bloodline all the way back, but on record, according to the paperwork, I am a Moor descendant from the indigenous people of the entire planet, which is Washington D. Munga.
Okay. Somebody said there was a Moorish American. Explain. You believe that all the melanated people is Moorish Americans?
No. nor do I believe all people of Washington, D.W. Munga are all Moorish Americans, because from my understanding, Moorish American comes from the temple, not from nationality.
Right. So Moorish American, you're saying you're ish or something. It's like you're not a Jew, you're Jewish. You're not a Hebrew, you're Hebrewish. So you're ish. So the term Moorish is dealing with more than one person because it's ish. I mean, it's not a Moor, it's a Moors or Moorish, and then American. But this is Al Morocco, so you don't have to double tie yourself to the land. Most people can't trace their bloodline. That's why they say they Moorish American, because they're lost at sea. Their vessel haven't came to the soil because they don't know who they are. They don't know if they're Haitian. They don't know if they're Cherokee, Chawata, what is it? The Homie, the Amazon people, the Aztecs, the Olmecs. So, know what I mean? The best thing they could do is claim to be a Moorish American. Because they don't want to take on the title Black, Colored, Negro, African American. You can't be African and be oppressed it, and then be America and be the oppressor. Know what I mean? So yeah, that right there, you know, a lot of people don't want to have that conversation, but it's like the prophet, he said in the 101, he's a Moorish American because he's a part of the Moors society. But his bloodline is Washington D.W. Mungi, the fifth prince of the House of Marquis. I mean, so yeah. Question number 2 is, why are you a Moor? Anybody know the answer? Y'all ain't been doing no studying, huh? Rundown is real.
No, I've been doing studying, but I'm definitely looking for my papers, but I think I got the wrong stuff that I printed out.
You don't know.
I have to
why they are Moor?
I don't think I have these.
According to the 101s, yes, but not the 33 civic questions, because I'm with the warrior lieutenant. I was looking at something else.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think I got the the translation of roles. Right.
Still, you still don't have a response of why are you a Moor?
Ashe, because we're descendants from Moroccans born in America.
Yep.
What Moroccans? Are you giving me an answer that you read? I want to know the facts. What Moroccans? We'll come back to that. Why are you a Moor? I'm a Moor because my mother is a Moor and her mother was a Moor. The woman is the mother of civilization of the human race. So you know what I mean? Your bloodline is really directed through your matriarch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
My grandma.
in the Black Christian code, it teaches the man that they take the bloodline of their father, but you know.
I was gonna say, the temple I was in kept saying father.
Huh?
I said the temple I was in was saying father, so that's something new I learned.
Well, I know
Washington's not a patriarch. The woman, the man has a position in the empire, but the matriarch is ran off the woman. Basically, not the reason I sent you Woman King because I watched it. And Woman King basically describes what happened with Washington. Like it's basically it's Washington. That's why I sent y'all the link. You can watch the movie for free. Nah, man. So when you go back and watch that movie, Woman King, that's how you're supposed to be moving. Period. Nah, I mean, that's the same thing you see in that movie. It's the same thing going on right now. I mean, you're being colonized. I mean, they done fucked our women and raped them and had children and integration. Nah, I mean, the bloodlines all mixed up. So one thing about Washington is a matriarch. So the woman holds the highest position in the empire, period. It's just it hasn't been a woman to step up to take the seat. I mean, there's a crown princess, but I ain't gonna say nothing. It is what it is. They're a crown princess. Yeah, that way. But yeah, it's a matriarch. Why are your people called Moors? Because our land is called Morocco, and since we are from this land, we are Moors of Morocco. What is a nation?
I had a question. Why is there two different spellings of it?
What, Moor?
Yeah.
We deal with the ancient spelling. We don't deal with the English term. The English term is M-O-O-R. That derives from the word M-U-U-R. When you go back to the Kemetic readings, you don't see a lot of words with R, more M's and U's than anything. It's like the J. The J's not used in that time because the letter J ain't exist. So a lot of spellings and casting you're getting from an English term. That's just like you shouldn't call our women queens. Queens are nothing but the king's whore. The king had 17 queens in his room, 17 prostitute whores. So when we deal with our original tongue, we didn't have a queen, we had empresses. Know what I mean? And that's why even in the movie, she was a woman king. So we ain't call our woman king, queens, or nothing like that. I mean, it's traditional languages that we call ourselves by. So when you start mixing English with Latin and Jikich or Swahili, know what I mean? Like you're mixing words together, like not knowing what it means. So I don't be trying to knock our people because I know they're like, hey, black queen or black king, whatever. But I do address like, hey, don't call me no black king, you feel me? Or prince. I mean, don't call my woman no queen either, you feel me? She's an empress. There's a difference. Like, so when I say that, they get so what's the difference? You know, I thought they was the same thing. No. They're the same thing. It would be two different words. There's a difference. So yeah. Y'all got the basic fundamentals. I mean, like the temple literature is basic. The prophet told you, I give you what it takes to save a nation, now save yourself. So that's just what was said. What is a nation? A nation is a family of people who are all descendants of one common mother. They have a common land, a common language, a common law called a constitution, a common flag, and a common national seal. What are our people of a nation called? Nationals. Whoa. Did you hear what I said? What is a people of a nation called?
Called nationals.
Nationals.
So if you're not a national, then that means you're not attached to a nation. So you know how many people that don't declare to be nationals?
A lot.
Islam, go ahead.
Islam, I got a question. I want to back up real quick. What was that you just said about the king and queen? I never heard it before. Break that down for me again.
So the king and queen, that's not of our language. That's an English term. Even to go in debts in it, you know, y'all play spades or whatever, you deal with the cards, right? So when you get to the jack, king, queen, and stuff like that, you're dealing with the English monarchy. So you got the king, you got the queen, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. So a queen could never run a kingdom. It was never, you never heard about European queens running a kingdom. Can anybody give me one story about a European queen running a kingdom?
Not until Elizabeth.
She's don't count to me, y'all.
She still don't
I was
run
about to
nothing.
ask.
She took power by blood, not by ranking.
Ashe.
That's a bloodline thing. I mean, there wasn't nobody else that can outrank her. Like, you can't put nobody before the bloodline, the hairs. So she's a hair of England. So you can't really like put another man that's not a hair of the states. So the always remember inside a kingdom, the man holds more power. So, know what I mean? If when you got children, whatever, they're gonna give the estate power to the man first, to the son before they give it to the daughter. But if there ain't no son, the daughter steps up. Nobody can outrank her. They gotta fall in line. But to break down the demonstration, what he was asking, the term queen, if you remove the N and put the R, you get queer. So that's why when we would start talking about homosexuality and all that other stuff, it comes from that, the activities that was going on in England. Because our people did not participate in that. You know, if you got caught with a man, Africa or the royal tribes, they'd kill you. It wasn't nothing to talk about. You was just dead. It goes against the laws of nature. I mean, two men cannot bear a seed, so they have no reason of dealing with each other. But like I asked the question, have you ever seen a European queen run a kingdom? You have never seen it in any European movies. Have you seen a woman run a kingdom for Africa and America? Yes or no?
Yes.
So we had over here in America, you had the Khalifa, which was the empress of the Khalifa territory, the Anui Empire. So she went to war with the Crusaders and the colonizers that came to the lands of America. You know, she came over here. I mean, they came over here and they went to war. She was really the woman king. Because the Khalifa is really who went to war with the French. She gave it up on them. Like, you got to go look up the Khalifa, the Caliphats. So that's what most people don't understand. California is a holy land. So we're in America, and you looking at America like none of this land is holy. But who told you this not a holy land? Who told you the ground you walk on wasn't holy? So you walk on sacred land every day and don't even know it. You treat it like it ain't shit. But the terms, to get back to the empress versus the queen, we didn't go by the terms kings or prince. We went by prince, but we didn't go by king. We went by crown prince, which is an Islamic term. A crown prince is nothing but a prince that's crowned. A prince, in a sense, in a European term, is still a king. All the sons of a kings are kings. So a lot of people don't understand that. So your daddy's a king and you're a prince. So when you become full grown and mature, what would you become? You can't always remain the prince because you're not elevating. So prince really means king. But when the prince is crowned, he's crowned to the throne. That means he oversees everything. So I hope that answered your question, brother.
Islam.
Yeah,
So
that
like
answer, bro. We'll touch base on it later on though. You answered though.
Islam.
for
Peace
like
love.
for like an example, if people ever seen like the Ten Commandments or whatever, Pharaoh was of course Pharaoh, but he appointed Ramsey and Moses as the crown princes, and they were in charge of building shit and getting shit and supervising slaves and getting shit done.
Mm-hmm. But what do people say? Oh, Pharaoh's a bad name and they enslaved. He enslaved the people. And my firstborn son's first name is what?
Pharaoh.
And a lot of people, even in the mosque, I had a sister, she like, oh, Astaghfirullah, that's a bad name for the Muslim society. And I say, you sound silly. She like, how? I said, how Pharaoh a bad name? Tell me. Your name could be Sabrina, and you could be a Muslim, and you could do all the bad work you do. Just because you're a bad person, am I supposed to judge Islam based off what you do? Even though that you're a reflection of what you represent, you're the representation of what you believe in. So you have to understand when they say Pharaoh, you should ask them which one. Because Pharaoh wasn't actually a name, it was a title. So it was a title. So you had Pharaoh Yehoshi, um, Pharaoh Anu, Anuka T, even what's her name? The Empress, Nefertiti, the woman king. So I mean, this is stuff they don't get in, they don't want to talk about. And then when we really get into raw history, these are our ancestors. Yeah, us over here in America, that's our ancestors. Even with the people in out west, we are more related to the Africans close to the west shores of Africa. Those them Africans there, we have a closer connection in genetics. Because when you get into the slave trade, our people sold our own people out. Like you had African tribes go to war with African tribes, conquer their people and sell them. So these are the things that's not being talked about. So now we're in a society where you're being sold, everybody's being sold. If you got a birth certificate, you being sold. You don't have no control. You're not the grantor. You have no authority. Know what I mean? You haven't surrendered and gave the responsibility back to the United States Treasury. Did I answer the question? So where we at? 6, what do we call nationals who do not call themselves Moors? We call them by their national names, or we call them foreign nationals. What is a constitution? A constitution is the law of a nation and its land. What is the name of your constitution? Our constitution is the great law of peace. Islam means to practice peace. So anybody practice anything outside of that, say they're Islam, you know, your way of life is peace. Where did our Constitution come from? Our Constitution is molded after the universal law, which rules all creation. It is all laws, and our common mother teaches it to us. How do your common mother teach this law to you? She teach me through nature. If I study nature, I will learn the great laws of peace. Have any of y'all ever been in a greenway or in nature and, you just feel so peaceful? Nobody?
Yeah. Yeah, like when I'm fishing, when I go fishing with my
When I go
stepfather.
to my mom's place in Puerto Rico.
So when you want to practice peace, you should travel to your national state parks or your rivers and take time and take a walk and, get in tune with nature. It's a healing process. So if you pay attention to nature, listen, like all BS aside, if you pay attention to nature, you will actually be molding yourself. Because nature operates off natural law. Like the rain is always gonna rain. That's its job. The sun is gonna rise. The grass is gonna grow. It's gonna need cut. It's gonna need water. You know, dirt always gonna be on the ground. Yeah. So like we move so fast, like the earth spins so fast that you don't even know that the earth cleans itself. Like the earth takes everything and recycles. Do you understand what I just said?
Not Shay.
The earth takes everything and recycles it. If the earth wasn't taking everything, the world would look like a bunch of trash. Cause y'all ain't picking all that dirt and dust and shit up off the ground. Where you think it's going? Where you think it's going?
Into the earth.
Into the earth. Even the water that flows out the river. Do y'all know you filter your water with rocks, right? Anybody know that?
Rocks, sand.
What rocks?
Yeah.
Yes, you filter your water with rocks. You get clean rocks and you pour your water. You get a tube. You can get like a little basket, whatever, and you pour contaminated water or whatever, and it goes through the rocks. And the rocks will stop everything that's toxic, bacteria, especially filtering your water.
Mm. Copper as well.
Huh?
If you can get copper vessels for long-term storage of water,
Yeah, I
it
got.
keeps bacteria away naturally.
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about that.
Yep, I got my copper. Well, that's why this is a universal class, I try to break down at least everything to you. All you gotta do is put that in your notes, though. Anytime you gotta survive off the land, make sure you keep a bag of rocks. If you don't have a filter system, you're gonna filter it naturally. What is nature? Common sense. Everything is not common though. Not in this society, it's not. What is the name of the common mother of the Moors? The first mother of the Moors is Zacutus, Zodicus. How many daughters does Zodicus have?
12.
What is the language of the Moors?
Is it sign language?
Our original language is Latin. The ancient language is sign language. Is
Okay.
to speak to people without. It's not body language. It's called electrical alignment. Basically, it's electrical alignment. And me and the twin Prince, we have electrical alignment. Even my son's mother that's up here, we have electrical alignment. So we could look at each other and basically can speak without saying anything. I could do the same thing with my little brother, which is Prince Jihad. We can speak without saying anything. if we're gonna move on somebody, we're so in sync with each other. We'll move at the same time without even looking at each other. Like, I mean, that's the like. If you oppose a threat, we both gonna set a defense. It's normal, but you know everybody don't move like that. What is the flag of the Moors? Our flag is the red flag with the green 5-point star in the center. The green stands for the planet Venus, who is the goddess of love and beauty, and the Moors forelord, which most people don't read that. They don't know nothing about the Moors forelord. The red stands for the planet Mars, who is the son of Venus, and the Moors folklore. What is the nickname for our flag? The cherry tree. I know y'all know what happened with the cherry tree. Anybody know who cut down the cherry tree?
George Washington.
George who?
Washington.
George Washington.
Washington Turner.
George Washington. Wasn't he a black man? I keep saying he was a white man.
Yes, he was.
He was a black man.
Yes, he was. George Washington Turner. Yep. He was Washington and he was French. Well, they considered him as British, the British Empire at that point.
Partner body. I just want to piggyback off of when you saying that the original, like the language was Latin.
Yes, the original language is Latin.
Okay, like Latin as in like Spanish Latin?
Latin. Spanish and Latin is two different languages.
Latin is the base language for Spanish, French, and Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
so ain't no rolling in Latin. Like
so even French people are Latino.
Yeah.
So that goes for Italians too, right? Because I have that in me too as well.
Listen, this is what people don't understand. Let's make this clear. Europe is not created by Albions. And go to the next question real quick. Give me like 2 minutes. But Europeans is not created by Albions. And can y'all name all the original tribes of Europe?
Not me.
I cannot.
Neither can I.
Prince.
I don't know.
Prince. He must got us on mute.
It's a storm down here where we are from the Florida hurricane. So
it came up there.
It's been storming all day, off and on, with rain.
Okay, I'm back. My princesses was out the door, so I had to go let them in. Where was we at?
The 12 tribes in Europe that we don't know nothing about.
12 tribes. You have 5 main tribes. Scottish, Irish. Anybody else?
So Scottish, Irish is Italian?
No. There's
French?
5 main tribes in Europe. They're the most 5 powerful nations that came out of Europe. Scotland is one. You know, that's the ones you be seeing. That they call it cross dressing. That's where that came from.
You talking about with the bagpipes and them?
Yeah, those are Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland people with the hats and the bagpipes and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I would say Scotland, Irish, the Greek. Europe?
Nope. It's the 5 Masonic orders: the Scottish Rites, the York Rites. Yeah. I'll let y'all do your homework on that. Come back next time with the 5 tribes out of Europe. Yeah. Albion tribes. Y'all too loud. Okay, where am I at? Where can you find the Moorish Great Seal? On the back of the $1 bill, it is the first seal because we are the original people of the land. So it's the seal with the pyramid that belongs to us. The other one belongs to the corporation. It was the peace treaty on the back of the dollar bill, which is really crazy. You really gotta look into the science of the dollar. What is our national seal? The Great Seal. What does it look like? A pyramid with an eye on the top and the center of a circle. Who are the so-called Indians? They are the Moors, who have been led to believe that they are not Moors. Who are the so-called blacks? They are the Moors, who have been led to believe that they are not Moors. Who are the so-called Latinos and Hispanics? They are the... Anybody?
Moors.
Who has
They're the
been
Moors,
led,
the M-U-U-R as Moors.
who has been led to believe that they're not Moors? If you look at the word Latino, you will see the root word Latin, the language of the Moors. Who are the so-called whites? Some are foreign nationals, some are Moors, who have been led to believe that they are not foreign nationals or Moors. Are people identified by color?
No.
Y'all just sit in here for class. Someone come here. No, they are identified by their national names. Our national names is Moroccans. But our national names, because we know we can trace ourselves back to the ancient American, would be Washington. What is the name that the people call Morocco today? Many call our land Americas, North, South, and Central Mexico. The word America comes from Al Morocco. Did anyone ever discover America?
No.
No.
It's impossible. We was already here. Christopher Columbus couldn't discover America. How? 1492, we've been here way before that. America, you had people here in 500 BCE. Even my bloodline, when you go back to the Shawnee It was here in 1730. That's the Shawnee Village in Ohio. But when you even go back, it goes all the way back to 500 BCE, which that is before Christ. So Christ came after, like AD 6 or something, the AD 33 or AD 30. So there was people here on this land before Yahshua HaMashiach was even born. Is there a Morocco in Africa too? Yes. Those Moors are our brothers and sisters from across the shores. We have the same flag. We share the same common history and future. What does DC and Washington, DC stand for?
District of Columbia.
Who was Washington?
Who was Washington? You mean why?
The
Like,
ninth president of the United States. He was not the first president. Who was the first president of the United States of America? It was John Hanson and Moore.
you said his name was John Hanson?
John Hanson.
That was the
Hanson. Ooh, which is crazy. Is there any questions or concerns so far?
So why they don't, pardon buddy, why they don't, I've never heard of John Hanson being
What?
the first. I don't remember
You
none of
never
that.
heard of John Hanson?
I don't remember none of that.
What?
No.
Is there anybody else up here that don't know who John Hanson is?
I don't.
Are y'all serious?
Dead ass.
Yikes. Let's look him up so y'all can see what he look like. Now, they're not telling the whole truth up here, but you gotta go to Library of Congress. So this is John Hanson, he's a Moor, but they're classifying him as African American. But there wasn't no African Americans in that time, really. So this is what he looked like. He was born into slavery, but he purchased his freedom. Immigrate from Baltimore to Liberia at the age of 36. So that's John Hanson. So y'all know what he looked like now?
I sure.
Any questions or concerns? The floor is open. We have completed the 33 civic questions, but y'all should know and get in depth and do more study.
I sure.
No questions? Y'all ain't coming with no questions tonight?
Ashay, so over the past week doing the trust and stuff, I was seeing how you were using the the different treaties or whatever to back your as law to back your trust. So when so you were speaking before about how in old term you have to not use our terms that we know today words to mean, but what they meant back then when they wrote the papers. So like I saw like in most treaties they were talking about vessels being in transport or vessels being moved, and if one should be in distress, how the other party is supposed to help and so forth and so forth. So I take it today would mean like if a person is in distress, it is in the obligation of the other governmental party to help that person in said means of the treaties, correct?
Correct.
And is
So
that
go
oh
ahead.
and is that why like in movies or whatever when you see a diplomat in trouble in another country, all of a sudden the country that they're in has to make so many moves to get them out of the country within like 24 to 72 hours back to their home country?
Correct. I want to call.
So, with that being said, what happens if we as nationals of America should get in trouble? Like, where do they send us to a compound or something, or a reservation?
Say that one more time.
So we as nationals, like, we wouldn't be like if we were to get in trouble, where would we be sent, or would we just captive as POAs?
If
Or
your
POWs?
status is not corrected all the way properly, then you could be jailed anywhere. Because if your status is corrected, you're not a part of their system.
I say.
Leave it. Leave it like that. Yeah, just leave it.
So basically, until you surrender that birth certificate and completion, you are still liable to be held by corporate statutes at some given point if you're in trouble.
Correct. I'm trying to go over my notes because I was breaking it down to y'all earlier. Um, Take a look at the birth certificate issued in your name, and the first thing you will notice is on funny paper, hard surface, hard paper, which is bond paper. This is your first clue that your estates has been seized upon that bond. Y'all, ladies, your first clue that your estates has been seized upon in that bond. Go to your room and be quiet. Because if y'all gonna sit in this meeting, you gotta be quiet. If not, go to your room. Thank you. Anubis. Where was I at? Okay, the bond is a promissory note that has been issued against your name. So they basically liened you. They turned you into property. On your birth certificate, you have two dates. You have the date you was born, then you had the date where they filed an entity upon you, which is the straw man, the capital letters. So everything that they have created, you have to go back and take ownership. That's why earlier I was talking about authentication of the birth certificate, which you have to do it on the county level, get the certificate of live birth. Then you got to authenticate it on the state level. Then you got to offer. Then you have to send it to the Virginia, the office of the U.S. Department of Authentication. You authenticate that, bring it back. Then you send the authentication to the United States Secretary, and you surrender, and they send you paperwork back, basically giving you the jurisdiction back to the soil, which it connects you back to the land, so you don't become a citizen. I mean, that's what people don't understand. There's a difference between a national and a citizen. And even with the wordplay, you have the state of Virginia, all caps. Then you have the state of Virginia, upper and lower case. So which one is the real jurisdiction? One's the de jure, the other's the de facto. That's why earlier I gave y'all the breakdown on authentication on the birth certificate. You really need to get on top of that ASAP. Like, as soon as you get that done, I help you do the form 56 for your straw man. And then you'll do the 8832, transfer it over to the states, take control. You make the United States Secretary of Treasury the trustee, basically, the ones that have access to the big accounts. She can fund the accounts. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Ashe.
Any questions or concerns so far? Y'all ready to move on?
Ashe.
Next, you got the supreme alphabet. You have Allah dash Allah, which the term Allah, which is masculine, derived from the term Allah, which if you go into the Islamic mystics, it talks about the Trinity goddesses. I mean, that formed and gave birth to Allah, which is the man. But most people don't get into that science. Which when we break down our Allah's within, which is arm, leg, arm, head, or temple. So when you look in the mirror, you're looking at God. In the book of Genesis, it said you was created in the image of who? In the likeness of who?
God.
So how are you not participating as God? So the holy breath flows through you because you have the four elements: fire, water, air, earth. You do have oxygen in your lungs, right? Oh, get out.
Ashe.
And don't be loud because your little brother's asleep. Yeah, if you be quiet. Yeah, now my princesses, all three of them, they're having a little party. B is B or born. C or C. Open up your third eye. 3 is divine. E is equality. F is father. G is God or goddess or the Netaru. H is he or her. I is Islam. 360 degree. All seeing. Peace within. I is justice. King is knowledge. King or kingdom, emperor, empire. Knowledge is know the ledge before falling off the edge, which is symbolic to the man, which is the foundation to the family, which is symbolic to the sun, which is the foundation to the solar system. L is love, the universal law. We should love our neighbor and ourselves, but you should love yourself first. Because if you don't love you, then there's no way that you can love anybody or you can accept anybody that's showing you love. M is master. Master, you must become a student of all arts and listen, look, and observe before you talk. Nation. Nation is birthed by a woman. The child comes from the womb. She's the tree that bears all the fruit that drops the apple on the ground, and when he eats it, The seed splits in 4 and goes back into the floor, which is the earth, and grow and build roots all over again. 0, O, cipher, cycle, 360-degree. Infinity is the infinity knowledge. I mean, you can't know everything. It's impossible. It's too much information to think that you're the creator of the universe. It doesn't. You're the creator of your universe, but it's a universe bigger than you. P is power. Power is to build, to become strong, to strengthen the mental, the spirituality. Q is crossed out because, these lessons got to be updated. So we'll say Q is quality characteristics. R is ruler. In order to be a ruler, you must apply the rules to yourself. S is self and savior. If you can't save yourself, then you can't understand who the original person is. T is truth and square. You got to stand on your 45-degree angle. Keep your shoulders tight so you can be on your ding. The T is symbolic to the cross, which is sacrifice. All of us is Jesus, and they trying to nail all of us to the cross. Know what I mean? When you living in truth, people go against the grain. So it'll always to be a negative and positive charge. There's no such thing as positive without negative. Know what I mean? All you gotta do is look at the battery. You cannot reboot this battery without charging both of them at the same time. So it has to be some type of balance. U or universe. U plus I equals all together. All is one and one is all. D is victory. W is wisdom. Wisdom is the wise dome. It's symbolic to the woman, which is symbolism to the earth and the moon, who gives birth to the most precious part, which is the child, is understanding. X is unknown. That's dealing with the most high. You can never get that high. You gotta continue to build as a student. Y is why. You're always supposed to ask when, where, why, how. You have to investigate. That's how you get a clear understanding. Z is zigzag zig. Any questions or concerns so far? No questions?
No.
The only question I was who assigned these things to the letters?
Huh?
Who assigned these specific words to the letters?
Well, that's dealing with the 5% nation, and I'm a 5%er. Still always to be God body, because I went through the 120 degrees. So as knowledge, supreme math, we applied the science to the letters. A can be Allah, A can be Almighty. I mean, when you become into the God and God, the nations of gods and earth, you know how to put math and science together without anybody telling you. Like today is 11, 11, 11. That's 4 plus 2024. That's 6. 4 and 6. That's 1, 0, 1 knowledge. Today is knowledge. It's a beautiful day. You add all the numbers together. There's no number higher than 9. So you're like, oh, I'm trying to build and get to the 120 degrees. If I told you non-cipher, that means no. If I say cipher that means the cipher must continue. You have been accepted into the 120s. So most people don't comprehend that. It's not a secret society. It's just a society that has mastered secrets, teachings. So any guy can remix the supreme mathematics if he has them master lessons. You can't rearrange the supreme alphabet without mastering the supreme alphabet or the quality of the words. So did I answer your question?
Yes, it did.
I like Supreme Mathematics though. Part about it, I just had to say.
Yeah, we about to go through it real quick. Number one is knowledge. Is to accumulate other facts through observing, look, listen, and observe. That then you can make a respecting decision. Knowledge is the foundation of all in existence, for it must be known to make it manifest. Knowledge is the light given off by our sun, which is the foundation to our solar system. Also, the original man, you, who is the foundation to his clan or bloodline. Knowledge equals sun equals original man, which is you. Wisdom is number two. It's wise words being spoken or to speak knowledge. Wise don't mean a wise mind and an act according to it. Wisdom is water or the virtual building block of life. Wisdom is the original woman, the goddess, because through her cipher, which is her womb, life is continued. It is also a reflection of one knowledge and is shown and proven by the moon reflection, the sun light. Knowledge plus the reflection of knowledge equals wisdom. Wisdom, moon, earth equals the original woman, goddess, which is you. All the goddesses that's on this code. Three is understanding. It is that which shows and proves the completion of knowledge and wisdom. Man, woman, and child, which is the Trinity, mind, body, and soul. If you say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit without mentioning the woman, it's a form of homosexuality. Because the universe wouldn't be nothing without bearing the seed through the woman. So women, always keep your head high and always understand that you're most needed. Understanding is a clear mental comprehension. It is the original child, which is the star. The highest form of understanding is love, the bond between man and woman, or woman and his child. Understanding star, original child. Number four is culture freedom. Culture is one way of living, meaning one language, wisdom, and customs, ways, and actions. Freedom is to have a freedom or to lack restraints. The original man culture is Islam. Freedom, justice, and equality. Which is peace. To have peace means to do what? And this is the 120s that I went back and I redid myself. So this is actually my literature. What you looking for, Princess? It's in that box. I think it's in that box. Power refinement. Power is force of creating energy. To refine is to perfect. Power is the truth, which is Allah, mathematics, the knowledge, the culture of Islam is to have power and peace and generating peace within. But you must apply the science itself and move in the lightness. 6 is equality. Is the state or quality of being equal, mean to deal equally with all in existence. Equality is achieved by teaching other knowledge and wisdom, making it understand through understanding. Equality is to adapt in all places, things, or even to adapt with people. You are to blend in and move according to the laws of the University of Equality. 7 is God, or God is Allah, Allah. It is the God, or God is the supreme being, the Asiatic man and woman who is the original. Is God and God is Allah or Allah, Lord of all worlds, the supreme ruler of the universe, which is everything. Sun, moon, and stars. God is the sun in the solar system. Woman is the moon, earth. Child is the stars. 8 is build and destroy. To build is to elevate the mental of self and others around self, to add on positive energy to Asiatic nation. To destroy is to ruin by allowing negativities to outweigh the positive, which you must remove all negative things out of your cipher. 9 is born. It's the completion of all in existence. to manifest, from knowledge to born, which is the laws of mathematics to be complete. This is the science of growing in your higher self, which a boy becomes a man, he has to let go of his childish way. When a girl becomes a woman, she let go of her childish ways. Zero is cipher, it's the whole 360 degrees of knowledge. 120. Wisdom, 120. Understanding is 120. Arm, leg, arm, head, 5-point star at 72-degree angles times 5 equal 360 degrees, which is the human body. The highest number is 9. Everything after that keeps number recycling. Itself, you must add all numbers. Peace and love, gods and earths. Apply this to your everyday life. Sincerely, Supreme Wisdom's child. Any questions or concerns? Y'all fell asleep or something?
Ashe, I'm right here.
I'm here.
If you don't want to talk, you can write questions in the chat.
Do you guys have like a PDF of those questions? I don't think I have those.
Ashe, we do.
What the Supreme have?
Yeah, we do. My question would be, the supreme math was brought up, well, was referenced in the zodiac constitution, and I was trying to understand it, how in reference, like, are we to conduct ourselves according to law with that? It's like it's just basic universal law.
We're supposed to be moving off the zodiac constitution, because when you align yourself with astrology, you can never go wrong, because you're aligning yourself with the creator. Peace. You know, see, people be playing these little zodiac games, whatever, like they be trying to tap in. Oh, I'm a Leo or I'm a Libra and I blah blah blah, but they really not tapped in like that, because if they was, they'd move a certain way. I mean, they'd catch themselves doing things that they're not supposed to do. So when you align yourself with astrology, you start moving differently. I mean, you start applying certain things to your life. Like me, I start, you feel me? I spend less time on the phone and more time with my family now. So you have to understand that's me aligning myself with the universe. And that's what the Prince challenged me on Facebook. He said, I challenge anybody to align themselves with the universe. But when I start aligning myself, I have to align myself with my children, because my children are my reflection. To them, I'm God. To them, to me, they're the young gods. So, and people take the term God out of content, because even the word God is Greek. It comes from the word Gaduk. So the term we use for the supreme being is the Netaru, which is in Kemetic science, which is over 35,000 BCE. So that's like way before Islam. Like that's way back. I mean, so I was saying it before. If you think they was in pyramids with flashlights and fire torches, you'd be surprised. They've been operating off electricity. Just like, check this, right? Do you know where the term bank come from?
Bank?
Yeah,
No,
BANK.
Like
no.
like the ocean.
Like the riverbank. There's
Yeah.
two banks on the side. So the bank reserve promissory notes, which they call currency, right? But when there's a river flowing with water, what do you call that? They tell you don't get in the water if you see a bad what?
Currency.
Current.
Bad current.
Current. My bad.
Anything that's continuing to be recycled is a currency. So you have bank that comes from the term river bank. There's banks on both sides of the river, and then it's reciprocating currency. The water has a current. It has to keep moving and flowing. So they just mind fucking you. It's called dog lag. That's what it is. Dog lag. So you have to start looking at these terms and seeing where they derive from.
That's where they basically get all this maritime language from.
Yeah,
Like all of it is from water, USC.
right. So most people don't understand that we are water people. Like I can get into the mystics about mermaids and people say that shit ain't real, but whatever.
Mermaids is real.
I wouldn't debate with nobody about it. I wouldn't even bring the topic up because they would think you're crazy. But you have to understand, man. Listen, woo, I'm gonna be quiet because I'll tell you some stuff that y'all get off this call and be thinking all night. You'll be like, oh nah, ain't no way.
I could believe they real because if the Elohim and all them was fucking around before Noah's flood, messing with all the animals, corrupting everything they could, and then there's a flood, what's stopping the animals that were in the water already?
And just to add on, in my opinion, listen, I feel like all these movies or even cartoons, A Little Mermaid, where y'all think they be getting these ideas from? Like, that shit ain't just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, like you not gonna put
That
it.
shit is real. They try to
You're not
about
gonna
it,
put a
try to say it's
snake tail.
mythology.
You're not gonna put a snake tail on a woman. Like what sicko does this? Like you had to see it. Like this, what I tell people: anything that they're projecting to you had to be seen, and they might have exaggerated the situation, but it derived from something that was real. Like even with Michael Myers, he don't die. We know when people's adrenaline is rushing, you can't kill them. Soon as their adrenaline stop moving, they can die immediately. But as soon as they get that rush and they moving, that's a whole different energy. I mean, that energy there is different.
I believe that too. I believe that.
Islam.
Islamism.
Hey man, I just wanted to say, um, the mermaids, they're called sirens. And I would start to look around, my philosophy, my beliefs, I believe we're underwater as we speak.
Yeah,
And that's
but
why
most people,
that's why these government entities always speak upon the dome.
yeah, because you got to understand, like we're on water, we're underwater, we're standing in water. Like a lot of people don't want to get into the mystic teachings. Like, didn't Jesus walk on water? But I don't think people comprehend what really happened.
They
Like,
don't understand.
oh yeah, Jesus crossed the ocean. He walked across the water. No, that's not what happened. We're on water now. Even the land. The land is floating above water. Because you can dig. I'm telling you, I do construction work. So when we have to go and put on pipelines or whatever, and we start digging, I guarantee you we'll find a water hole. There's water circulating, and I ain't talking about through no water line. It's just roaming under the dirt. So that's why when it's a lot of pressure in certain spots of the world, it's something considered as a sinkhole.
I
And
say,
what it
and
is, water built up underground, and you apply pressure, and it releases, it bursts. So when the air bubble in the water bursts underground, it creates a sinkhole. So as soon as you put pressure on that landmass, driving that car, boom, you fall underground. But
That
the earth is like your human body. When you cut yourself, you don't stop yourself from bleeding. You do know this, right?
Mhm.
Your body, which is neuron cells, stops you from bleeding. It sends a signal through your body, and it tells your body to do a repair ASAP. It's like you're in the spaceship, you get hit, boom. There's something the ship has been hit, left wing. So what happens? You have to send support to the left wing to get it together. Because if you don't get it together, then we're gonna die. So your body already does a lot without you even knowing about it. Like most times you get cut, you put a band-aid on it, you forget about the whole cut. Like while you forgetting about it, your body's healing it. That's how deep it is.
that's just like speaking on the water issue, walking on water. It's just like if you come to Detroit, we like 10 miles, 10, 15 miles away from Canada. So you can look across the river, Detroit River, and it's Canada. But if you look by the bank, by the river bank or where the wall is at, it sinks it goes under the ground. If you dig where the little wall is at, you will hit the water or whatever. Like it's crazy, man. So that walking on water, I don't think people get that. I don't think they really get it.
They don't see that far. Like even with the history of Yahshua HaMashiach, they don't even know that he was a carpenter. So him being a carpenter mean he did construction work. But don't think that he was just out here preaching. Yes, he had a job. He was doing carpenter work. Even when he was going in the temples building and teaching, they called him in there to do carpenter work. So it's like the world gets these bits and pieces of the story. And a lot of people don't know that Jesus has a bloodline that's in South of America. Like still, there's still a lineage still connected to Yahshua HaMashiach. And don't think the world don't know who's related to who, like far as blood. That's why Donald Trump can't be touched. Like he's the last great grandson of the Holy Seas. His granddaddy is a part of the Roman Empire in Germany. Know what I mean? So you have to understand Donald Trump is not American at all. Go look up his bloodline. They're from Germany. Germany. Um, any questions or concerns so far?
Hey, no questions, but I did want to let the tribe know, hey, I'm about to go back. I only came out here to see if y'all was still on. I'm about to go back in my family reunion. We got a little hall or whatnot. I just wanted to stop in and see if y'all was in here.
Yeah, peace and love, brother. Enjoy yourself. We send our love.
All right, peace and love, y'all. Watch your toes.
So we went over that. Let's go over this Constitution real quick. North Carolina State Constitution, Declaration of Rights. Declaration of Rights. Section 2, Sovereignty of the People. All political powers is vested and derived from the people. All government of right ordinance from the people is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the whole. State that the people holds the true sovereignty and not the corporation. Ain't that what that just said? Yeah. Did y'all comprehend that?
All rights come from the people that the North Carolina government enacts upon us.
Right. So when you vote, you're giving away your rights. Section 4, secession prohibited. This state shall ever remain a member of the American Union. The people thereof are part of the American nation. There is no right on the part of this state to secede and attempt from whatsoever source upon whatever pretext to dissolve this union or to serve this nation shall be resisted with the whole power of the state. American nations are the native people, which is us. So they just said clear as day that they work for us, and there's nothing in their power that they could do about it to change that situation. Section 6, separation of power. Legislation, executive, and supreme judicial power of the state government shall be forever separated and distinct from each other. Citizens and national holds two different statuses. Section 8, representation and taxation. The people of the state shall not be taxed. This is in the North Carolina State Constitution. The people of this state shall not be taxed or made subject to pay of any impost of duty without the consent of themselves or their representation in General Assembly freely given. That means when you voted, somebody that you put in office, House, U.S. Congress, whatever, now they freely can tell you you're being taxed as a people, because they represent you, the people. I don't vote, so these people don't represent me. Section 13. All persons have a natural and inalienable rights to worship Almighty God according to their dictate of their own conscience, and no human authority shall, in any case whatsoever, control or interfere with the right of their consciousness. Do you know how much power that gives you?
That alone would have gave you the right not to take the vaccine.
Facts. Section 14. Freedom of speech and of the press are two of the great bulwarks of liberty, and therefore shall never be restrained, but every person shall be held responsible for their abuse. Yeah, hate crime. Watch what comes out your mouth. Education. The people have a right to the privilege of education. It is the duty of the state to guard and maintain that right. 16, ex post facto laws. Representative laws, punishment acts committed before the existence of such laws. and by them only declaring criminal or oppressive, unjust, incompatible with liberty. Therefore, no ex post fact law shall be enacted. No laws taxing retrospectively sales, purchase, or any acts previously done shall be enacted. 17, get wicked. Slavery is forever prohibited. Involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party has been adjudged guilty, is forever prohibited. Oh, you ain't hear what that said? Involuntary servitude is prohibited as well. Any questions or concerns?
Is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now. Hey, I got
Yeah. Well, just send me his information on the tablet. I'm still in the call right now. And call me tomorrow, please. All right. My bad. That's my daughter. She calling from behind the wall. So, yeah. Any questions or concerns so far? No.
No, following.
Well, everybody, I think your goal should be for homework is understand what your United States Constitution and Bill of Rights is, and then go into your state constitution and see what the Bill of Rights is. That's your assignment. I want you to understand how much power you have as we the people. You have to understand. The Constitution holds a lot of work in it. The Constitution is basically their trust. But they have Section 7, which is an oath. And their oath says, I, blank, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and the laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a, so God help me please. So if you catch these people being unconstitutional, guess what they got to do?
Back off.
They'll be stepping on down. Come on down. The price is right. Yeah, you right there. Come on down. Yep, your seat got pulled. That's how that is. We have to learn this stuff. But when you learn this stuff, that's when you can enforce it. Every person offering to a vote shall be at a timely legal registered as a voting, prescribed in a manner provided by law. The General Assembly shall enact general laws governing the registration of voters. Ooh, did you hear what they just said? The General Assembly shall enact general laws governing the registration of voters. So if you voted, then they could come out with new laws that govern you. Oh man, Section 2, local government. In every county, a sheriff shall be elected by the qualified voter thereof at the same time and placed as members of the General Assembly are elected and shall hold his office for a period of 4 years, subject to removal for cause as provided by law. No person is eligible to serve as a sheriff if that person has been convicted of a felony against this state, the United States, or another state where or not the person has been restored to the rights of citizenship in the manner prescribed by law. Convicted of a felon, including entries of a plea of a guilty, a verdict, or finding of a guilty by jury, judge, magistrate, or other adjudicated bodies, tribunal, or official, either civically or military, or a plea of no contest, no low contenders. That's Latin. Corporation charters. No corporation shall be created, nor shall its charter be extended, altered, or amended by special acts, except corporation for charitable, educational, penal, reformation purpose that are to be and remain under the control of the state by the General Assembly shall provide by general laws. See, that's just a whole bunch of stuff to get into, but at the end of the day, that's something y'all want to get on top of, really. Yes. Any questions or concerns so far? Yeah, quiet. Well, before we close this meeting, I would like everybody to comment on what they learned or what's their thoughts. Yeah, I would love to hear your remarks. Please all don't speak at once. Anybody want to go first? Or I gotta pick.
It's me per usual. Um, I like to say that I honestly didn't have the 33 civic questions, but they were informative because I see how they go in depth on the 101 questions. And as far as knowing where I need to go deeper into my studies.
Peace and love. Get it over to you. You should already have it though. I think you do got it. You just don't know that you got it.
I can believe that.
Yep. You got it. You just don't know you got it.
I figured as much.
Uh,
I figured it had to be in a piece of literature that I ain't read yet.
yep, it's a lot of stuff I ain't sent out to y'all. So it's a lot of stuff to master. Um, let's see who's next. Sayan. I will open the floor to my brother Ron, my Baha'i brother. See what his thoughts about tonight.
Hello, peace and love to everyone. I'm just listening and learning in the background. Thanks, Brother Joshua, for sharing your thoughts. Very, very informative.
Appreciate it. And I will be seeing you this Sunday.
That is right. That is
Yep.
right. Looking forward to it.
Yep. Warrior Lieutenant Mutifa. Prince Ion.
What is a mutifa?
What is a Mutifa? A Mutifa is a feminine version of a Mutif.
Which is
She's a warrior lieutenant, so she's basically like what you said. You probably ain't seen Woman King, but she's basically a woman guard. She's a high-ranking guard. She's a sharpshooter, as they would say.
Ashe.
So, like, if we was moving around, that's my Mutifa or warrior lieutenant. So before you approach me, she's gonna run down on you, or her unit will run down on you.
Ashe.
Yep. So that's what that is. Warrior lieutenant. Well, we go back to Sion since your mic's on.
I was just thinking because you was talking on the mermaids. I would really like to do some studying on that type of stuff. I don't know. I was learning a lot. I haven't processed a lot of it. Like it's still, I need to take time and actually go through everything you were saying. So I really ain't got too much feedback because it was just all so much. So I gotta break everything down that we discussed. But you went over a lot of things dealing with the queen and empress and shoot, a lot of
Yeah,
stuff. So,
like the like the Prince was saying, like the mermaids is the Cyrus. You just gotta
remember the show.
you gotta dig into it. Like it's deep. Like most people don't go into the mystics. They don't really go into ancient texts. Like they don't ask questions like where do snakes come from? Like what is the who birthed the snakes? You know, it's a certain family they come from. There's dog families, there bear families. Like a lot of people don't know that dogs and bears are related. So bears are not like big cats, they're more like dogs.
Oh. So what I remember with mermaids, because there's that show Siren, but what I learned, I mean, what I've read, I thought they were supposed to be like something with like they said something about demons or something like they put you under a spell or something with their singing. I don't know.
We about done. I told you this it. You too. Say that one more time.
I was saying that I don't know where I was reading it at.
But somebody's telling you like the mermaid, what is it? Basically manipulate the man and come into the water and he never comes back.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's like
Like,
the folklore stories or whatever. They're dope stories to read. Like I would love to take the information and turn it to a movie or a book. It'd be dope.
hey, get off that fridge now before you wake
Um,
time to sleep.
Disneyland really promotes a lot of that stuff though. Really, like you gotta go back and look at them cartoons. Like it's a lot of stuff that Disney's putting out that's
A
real.
lot. Is there a dead body under Disneyland? The frozen one, I should say.
I'm not answering that question up here. I said if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But what the elders say, don't put your nose in some business that you don't want to belong to. But
Right.
but they already showed you in the cartoon, like y'all,
Futurama.
huh?
Futurama.
Look at Frozen.
I didn't even think about that.
They try to say we was fairies, the Moors.
That
Memphis,
was that one movie I was watching because I was
Memphis.
watching it. They said Moors. I was like, look at that.
Yeah, but you know we came back and got right. But that's crazy because that story is about Washita. Cause basically how the England kingdom married into the indigenous people. Cause the fairies lived in the wilderness and the naturals and the land and the forest, and the English lived in the castles. So it's basically something that happened with Mary and Joseph Turner. Know what I mean? So y'all understand the Washita, the House of Tuna came together. Washington Turner. So that story actually deep. It basically shows you how the indigenous empire mixed with the European mixed empire. But anybody want to make any more remarks about the landmine plane? Well, I will see y'all Thursday, Sunday night for class. We ain't going too much in depth about credit. So for class, Sunday, what I do for y'all is do a credit repair class. And you can't be late because I'm doing it for you for free. So basically, we'll do a part one. Basically, show you how to do a debt validation letter to start pulling all these accounts to see what you have on your stuff, and then see if they'll be responsive to you. So yeah, that'll be Sunday afternoon, or yeah, we'll work it out. Probably can do one tomorrow. If y'all have time, we can do a credit class tomorrow. Sunday, I use it for meeting with the Baha'i. And then we'll do our Sunday night meeting. So, anybody want to do credit tomorrow? Y'all,
Anytime after 11.
alrighty. Y'all are loud. And it's 11 o'clock at night. Get it together. Well, peace and love. We'll go out with the Moorish prayer. I will let my daughters say it.
Yep, I will. I will. Definitely I will. I will.
Yeah. You gotta face the east and say it. We'll repeat after you. We waiting on y'all so we get off this call. You gotta say it loud. They can't hear you.
Allah, Father in the universe,
Allah, truth, peace, freedom, Allah, Father,
God, my salvation,
United, His holy prophet.
I mean, peace of love, peace of blessing.
Peace and love.
Thank you so much for having us.
So thank y'all for tuning in. Give praise to the creator of the universe, our ancestors, and all the great prophets. May peace be upon you, success and prosperity. And I'll leave here with love in my heart.
Peace and love, Mo. Peace and love, bro.